Welcome to the very first episode of Throw Leftie Podcast. My name is Reagan Bischoff. I'm your host. I'm a high school lacrosse player and a YouTuber and a proud member of the cerebral palsy community. This is my mom, Danielle. She's going to help me with this podcast episode today. And yeah, I'm super excited. Let's get into it. So we live in northern VA. I'm going into my junior year, and I started my cerebral palsy journey when I was 2 months old. I have it on the left side of my body. Yeah, and I've been figuring out how to live life ever since then. So, obviously everything's been challenging, but we always figure out ways to work through it. I chose the name Throw Leftie because I play lacrosse, and obviously throwing left-handed is super difficult when your left hand is limited. So this one time I was trying to figure out how to adapt on how can I figure out how to do this. And I figured it out. So we decided to name my YouTube channel and the podcast Throw Leftie because it's super important to remember to not always give up and always
throwing left is hard and you can overcome that.
Yeah.
So we always find a way.
I live with my mom, my dad, and my brother. My brother owns a small business where we sell dog bones to help raise money for guide dogs.
Because he's legally blind.
Because he's legally blind. Forgot to mention that.
So yeah, Reagan was born full term and everything was fine for the first couple of weeks, and then she started having seizures, and they escalated to 60 seizures a day. And luckily she doesn't remember any of this. Right before her 3rd month birthday, she had brain surgery to remove the part of the brain that was causing the seizures. And unfortunately, during that surgery, that then damaged the connection of her brain to the left side of her body, which by definition is cerebral palsy. So we went through a really tough 9-hour surgery, and they said she'd have a little bit of weakness on the left side, and we had honestly no idea that meant cerebral palsy. But we took it head on, and a lot of your younger years were in therapy, right?
I did physical therapy and occupational to figure out, how do you do ponytails, and how do you do necklaces, and how do you do braids, and then they finally said, you're able to go live life. I did swim team for a couple years, and I started lacrosse about 1st grade, and then coming 3rd grade, I decided I wanted to try goalie for the first time. Our goalie didn't show up, and we were freaking out, and they were like, who wants to try it? And they would always switch off on who played, and I decided, I'll try it this time, it might be interesting. So, I did rock, paper, scissors with this other girl who wanted to do it, and I won. And I got in cage, and about 5 minutes into the first quarter, I had a thick gray headband that was labeled with my lacrosse team that I wore to keep my hair back. And 5 minutes into the first quarter, it decided when I put on my helmet to fall on top of my eyes, and it covered all my eyesight. I couldn't see, and I was just in cage.
She kept looking at her dad, who's coaching on the sidelines, and he's like, what? And she's like, he couldn't figure out what she needed.
Yeah, because obviously my dad was not, known about the whole, because my mom did my hair.
Headbands?
Right,
yeah.
My mom did my hair. My mom helped me get ready for the game. He had no idea. He was just there for coaching and having fun, teaching me how to play. And so I ran off the field, and I was and I remember getting hit multiple times in the chest, and I just did not know what to do because I couldn't see, so then the ball would drop in front of me, and I just couldn't. I found it finally, but...
So you ran off, and he jammed it.
Right.
Jammed the headband back in.
That was a monumental point for me because I found out later that goalie actually, right after that game, I was like, Dad, I want to do this more. My dad was a goalie, so he's able to help me figure out ways around that.
Why do you think you liked goalie versus you were midi before that?
I was a midi, and midi's a lot of running. It's running up and down the field. You play every position except goalie. And when I figured out goalie, you have your own little personal space. It's a big circle around this cage, and nobody's allowed in it except you. It's like a cylinder, and it's like a barrier, and nobody's allowed in it. If they go in it, it's a penalty.
Well, and as you got older, the running got harder, right?
Right, because I would trip a lot. I wouldn't be able to tell my foot to lift, and But figuring out goalie, you don't switch to the left side. You don't ever switch your hands. You're always in your right hand. It's a lot less running. It's a lot less trying to get around girls, and it's just such a fun position. You see the entire field. You know everything that's going on, and obviously playing my entire life, you gain up a lot of IQ on if the ball goes here, then it's gonna get shot here, and it's all the IQ, and when you're a goalie, you like it's important to have high IQ. So, playing my entire life, you learn a lot of IQ about the game, and having a goalie position, you see the entire field, like I said.
And so you played for a couple of years. You loved it. You never left the goal after that. But then you started saying, you know what? I want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, and so we started travel about 4th grade, which is year-round lacrosse tournaments every weekend. Lots of traveling. We went to Florida. We've gone to,
Maryland.
Kind
of a hard transition, right?
Right. It was definitely different from playing, one practice a week and one game on Sunday.
And you were kind of nervous. I mean, you're going to this new team. You're hoping they're going to accept you. You're walking in with a little bit of a disadvantage. What do you think really helped you? So you moved to Cavaliers. We looked at all the local teams and felt like Cavaliers was an amazing team that would support you.
Yeah.
We talked to the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a big difference. I mean, I often say it's who you surround yourself with. It's who you make your team. We call it Team Bischoff. And you have to have people on the team that are going to support you and help you, because really you can overcome a lot if you have the people to help you the right way. Yeah. So 2 amazing coaches on Cavaliers.
Oh my goodness. They're like they were like second moms to me. Like they both like did hair. They both made sure we were okay. Like in the end they were our coaches, but they also built that family around us, and I just felt so at home when I was with that team.
But it's finding that balance. Like I always, when she was younger, I would try to talk to those coaches, or, if she went to a clinic, and I would kind of give them a heads up. Now that's transitioned 100% to her. But in those early years, I would tell them, you need to make her do what everyone else is doing, because I don't want that's one thing that makes you really mad, is when people feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
It's like, don't feel sorry for me. I got this. But give me a chance and let me find the way that I need to do it, and it might be different. So you found an amazing goalie coach.
Oh, yeah. I've had a couple of really good goalie coaches. But, I had some coaches who would just be like, hey, if this is too difficult for you, just don't do it. And I'd be like, what do you mean just don't do it? Like, obviously I'm going to try and do it, because now you're challenging me.
Right.
I mean, like,
she's competitive. Can you tell?
I mean, I get really competitive with that type of stuff. But, it's always the mindset of I'll try, but I might need to switch it up a little bit. So, like, whenever the coach is talking about, hey, we're going to do this drill, I kind of, like, look at my coach, and I'm like, what can I do differently? Like, and my first Cavalier coaches knew immediately, like, hey, like, this is what you're going to do differently, because they knew I would be looking at them like what can I do?
And sometimes you need a little more time. Like, remember that game you were playing, and all of a sudden you're in goal, the game's about to start, and they're like, you got to switch jersey colors.
Oh my goodness.
So lacrosse jerseys are black on one side, or colored on one side and white on the other, so that both teams always have a color that, is easy to tell the teams apart. So you're in goal, they're like, you need to switch your jersey.
And I have to take off my helmet, my chest plate, my
to get
gloves,
the jersey off.
Just to get my jersey off. While the other girls, it took them 10 seconds, took off their goggles, switched it real quick. I mean, I had, if you've ever seen the game of lacrosse, there's 2 low defenders right next to me, and they were literally helping me change. Like, it was like a dressing room where I had to, like, they would grab my jersey, they would help me put it on, because obviously you want the jersey to make you feel secure.
Yeah.
But you don't want it too tight. And at the time, my jersey was just too tight for me. So it was like a glove. Like, you felt secure, but you wanted that so the chest plate didn't move around.
Right.
But, yeah, it was super difficult, because obviously I had to do it one-handed with a glove on, and being stressed because the entire field is watching me change. And, like...
But it's a matter of having people that got your back. People on Team Bischoff that will support you. And
I mean,
you have an amazing team.
You get so close to your team, and, like, as a goalie, you're one of the main leaders on the field, communicating with everyone. So you get a real connection with a lot of the players.
Well, and even that, you were working with one goalie coach who did a really good job of understanding that your left shoulder was tight. Mm-hmm. The spasticity in the left side caused tightness in the shoulder, which was preventing her, with the way you're supposed to throw, from really clearing as far, which means throwing the ball down the field. And so she's like, I don't care what people tell you, sidearm it, right? Is that what she called it?
So instead of having your feet, obviously you stand like parallel, but instead of having my feet parallel, she had my left foot move the tiniest bit to the left, and that changed the direction of my hips, because wherever your hips go is where the ball will go. So just the tiniest movement of moving my left foot, like 10 little centimeters to the side, left side, I mean, I was able to clear so much more directly and know where I was going.
But it's understanding your body, understanding how it works, finding
Yeah.
people that you're working with in your life who can help you understand that.
But you know, when I found Bioness, that helped me a lot figure out how to loosen and like lift my toe more. I mean, I haven't tripped in a while because I've been wearing the Bioness brace, and you know, I've worn braces a lot of my life, and then once we got rid of the AFOs, which were really difficult.
Those are so hard. So AFOs are hard plastic braces that are a 90-degree angle. And so the benefit is it prevents, you know, when you have CP, it's hard for you to pull your toe up. So those keep your foot at a 90-degree. The problem is they're restricting the movement of the calf. They're restricting, you know, as much movement, which means that leg isn't developing as well. It's also not really making anything better. It's just preventing you from tripping. And so that was a huge, you know, kind of find when we were working. She has a physiatrist that helped us kind of learn about that, and e-stim in general. With the Bioness, it electrically is stimulating your brain so that over time the goal would be that, you know, that movement becomes more natural for you.
Right.
And man, finding shoes that fit an AFO, imagine, you know, anybody that's had a 6-year-old girl, you don't go into a shoe store and pick any shoe because it fits the brace. They want pink, they want cute. We wanted, you know, Velcro because, of course, tying shoes was really hard for you.
Yeah.
And so you learned to tie shoes eventually, but that took you a lot longer and a lot of years.
I learned until like 4th. Well, everyone else was learning at like 2nd grade. I think I learned at like 4th.
I specifically remember your 3rd grade teacher coming to me and saying, yeah, nobody realizes she has a disability. And one of the other teachers asked me why I was tying her shoes.
And did my hair. She helped me with my ponytail.
She was
helped
amazing,
me with my
Miss Kelly.
But you know, that's also coming from. Well, I also like I get a lot of the time like, you know, I had no idea you had a disability. Like even like goalie coaches at clinics. I mean, I would start looking at colleges and they're like, I would not have known if like it wasn't in your bio of your recruiting. Like I wouldn't have known if like you didn't tell me. Like I get that so much because, you know, sometimes people just don't notice it, but then when you actually have to do something like I can't do a low braid, like I can't do a braid on myself, and they're like, why can't you do it? And I'm like, well, you know.
But you know, it's interesting because you're in the recruiting process now. And that was a big conversation. You have an entire recruiting profile. And that was a big conversation with your current coach. How do we handle the cerebral palsy component as she starts looking at colleges? And we embraced it full on. And it is not something that we are afraid of or shy of. And, you know, it's right there in your profile. It's part of who you are. And
because, you know, I mean,
it's exciting. You're interviewing lots of schools. You have an interview today.
Yeah, I actually do. I have one today. You know, it's just like it's part of me, and like obviously I try and do a lot of for my community. Like I said, my Throw Leftie YouTube channel, and you know, I do Tiaras of Hope, which is a nonprofit organization where I got crowned.
So she's on the Today. You were on the Today Show.
Yeah, and I got crowned Miss Teen Virginia. I got picked up by
Diane found you on the Today Show.
Yeah, and she asked us to fly down to Florida and get crowned Miss Teen Virginia.
Training.
Yeah. Now I crown kids with life-threatening or life-altering illnesses. I don't just do kids. I actually do every age group. I've gone to hospitals. I go to houses. I go to Ronald McDonald House in Baltimore. You know, it's super fun because, you know, I get to do a lot for my community and just give people tons of happiness and hope that it'll be okay and to never give up, because that's always my motto, never give up, and I'll try, but I might need help. You know, that's always my motto. But yeah, and then after that, I got picked up by a girl at my school. She was doing this competition for journalism and video, and she said, hey, your story is like really awesome. Like, I would love to do a segment on you for this competition. And I was like, of course, like, I'm happy to help, like, if this will help you. And we sent it to Bioness, and they said, wow, I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and
well, you were wearing the brace in the video,
right?
She won for Best in Loudon. So when you think about, you know, kind of why she did that video and kind of how you're helping other people, not only giving hope through Tiaras of Hope, but also the Throw Leftie channel. One of the things I feel like we hear a lot is, how did you figure that out? Right? And so that's kind of why you started your channel, was because it'll let you easily, and for me, I'm on Facebook, right? Your age group, you're on Instagram, and TikTok and other platforms, but it was easy for us to share. Even just this week, I shared both of your driving videos because the driving process has been such a challenge.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to deal with the DMV and learning how to get that occupational therapist that's specialized in driving rehabilitation. But the Throw Leftie, we kept meeting people that are like, I don't know anyone else like me.
Yeah.
And, do you know anyone else that's 14 that has CP, who has dealt with the bullying at school and all of the questions? And so you started doing the videos, and then you started doing the chat group.
I mean, tons of people would ask me questions, and we were like, I mean, let's just get a community together. We started a chat group where I get tons of kids with cerebral palsy into a call, and we'll just have regular conversations, and we'll talk about, like, what do you do? And some people will be like, oh my gosh, like, I had no idea about that, or like, oh my gosh, I do that too. Like, I didn't know anyone else had problems like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
was it shampooing?
Yeah.
There was one where you were talking, and it was priceless. She's on a Zoom, and you can see all of these girls' faces, and all of a sudden everyone's like, yes. And it was like everybody felt like somebody understood what was hard about what they are going through.
Yeah. I mean,
so you have girls from all over the country. You have someone from the UK, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like super fun. And
sometimes you talk about cerebral palsy and sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes you just talk about what camps are you doing, or,
right.
what else is going on in your life. And
then, like, this podcast will help me create a bigger circle and, connect to more people and help more people understand, get the word out, and create awareness for the CP community. And we're going to have tons of fun guests and tons of fun topics to talk about.
Well, and that's one thing we kind of realized, right, is you're doing the channel, and a lot of that is your voice. And what we started realizing is there's so many people out there advocating and learning about the cerebral palsy community and awareness. Let's bring some of them in.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to share and kind of connect you. So we have a couple of exciting guests lined up.
Yep. It's going to be super, super fun. Get to know a lot of new people. And, I have my Throw Leftie Instagram, and yeah, it's going to be super fun, and I'm super excited to continue this.
We've covered a lot today. I think we'll do, more podcasts to talk more about you. If people have questions, they can let us know, and we can add topics.
Of course. I mean, it's going to be super fun, and I'm always open for questions and stuff. So, but thank you guys so much for joining us for the first episode of Throw Leftie. We're super excited, and I can't wait to talk more about this. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye guys.